YouTube, it's Kyle here from Children's Card Games 1. I'm just doing a video response to Underworld 667's video, as well as just something I've been wanting to do for a while now, and that's an updated deck profile of my Macro Monarchs. I feel like Macro Monarchs is a really underrated and yet original deck. It's quite powerful, and yeah, for me, there's two main reasons why I like to run Macro Monarchs. Well, three really. One is originality. It's really nice, really out there. You don't hear of it, and not many people would know what to side against it, even though it is quite good. And also, yeah, so there's two main reasons. That's because it's a fairly budget deck. The most expensive card here is Solemn Judgment, because you can just like have commons of that, you know, commons of that. So really, yeah, the most expensive card, Solemn Judgment, and all in all, deck will probably be about $70 or so, at the most, if you got the lowest rarities and that. So it's a fairly cheap deck for what it can do. So I think that's really good. And the other good reason is it's really anti-meta against the top tier. And so the top tier includes, like, you know, it's good against Blackwings, good against Sabres, really good against Quick Draw or Debris Heme, really good against Infernities, and pretty good against Glads, and some other really good top decks as well. This just can crush with its anti-meta engine and that. So yeah, I feel it's a really nice deck to play. So basically how it works is we have one part of the engine of the deck here. That's the Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos engines. I just call this the Fissure engine. So yeah, that removes everything from play. Really, you really need to protect these cards, because they will make your whole deck run. And then we have Triple Survivor. Well, really 4 survivors if you count RoTa as one, and 2 GD Scout Planes. And this is what I call the Survivor engine. Basically, what it is, it just gives you infinite tribute fodder when used in conjunction with your Fissure engine. So if this whole engine is running at on the field, then you really do have infinite tribute fodder, no matter what, unless this gets destroyed. So it's really strong, and with infinite tribute fodder, you know, why not run Monarchs? And that's why it's the Macro Monarchs. And so apart from the engine and the Monarchs, the only other cards that you need to play really are search cards to search out your engine or Monarchs, and protection cards to protect your engine or Monarchs from being destroyed and that. So that's what pretty much all the other cards do, apart from the engine and the Monarchs. So anyway, I'll go through each card singularly now, and why I run it. So we have 3 Caius, pretty self-explanatory, best Monarch, really good. 3 Mobius, that's a personal choice. You could run like 2 Mobius and 3 Raiza, or 2 Mobius and Thestalos, you know, really personal choice here. I think Mobius is so unexpected. Like, if your opponent gets hit once by one, they're never gonna be expecting another Mobius on top of that, you know. So they'll still be happy to put some back row, and then you just hit him again. So he's really good. You can get lots of pluses with him, especially this format with Heavy gone. And 2 Raiza, he's fairly decent. He's pretty good late game, like making your opponent top deck the same card again and again. So Raiza's alright, but I don't really like him at 3. So I run 8 Monarchs. You can run that. Yeah, it's up to you which Monarchs you use. I would say only use the 4 Caius, Mobius, Raiza, and Thestalos, because the others aren't that great. So use any combination of those 4, but probably use 3 Caius. But yeah, you'll have to use 8 of them, because I found in a lot of testing that over 8 Monarchs in this deck, your opening hand will just get flooded by them, which won't be good. And 2 little Monarchs, and you won't be able to top deck them when you need them, when you have your engine running, so then you won't be able to actually use it to your full advantage. So yeah, 8 Monarchs. And we have the Survivor engine, triple Survivor, 2 Scout plane. I've already explained that. You definitely need 3 Survivors, and I think 2 Scout plane is good. Between 1 to 2 is good, depends on how many times you draw it, really. But I think 2 gives you enough options to be able to always have this in a game. Like with your 6, with your 4 Survivors and 2 Scout planes, I think it's enough options there. And now the other monsters are basically just fillers of your choice, really. This is just what I play. I found this is quite good, but you might think of something else. So we have 2 Cyber Valleys. I think these are really good in this deck because they're pretty much a Pot of Greed minus a normal summon, since you use it with a Survivor or Scout plane, draw 2 cards, and then at the end phase your Survivor or Scout plane comes back, so that's just this is nice +1 there, and he thins out your deck a lot, so you can look for your fissure engine a lot easier. And also you can use his first effect as well. If you don't have your engine running, you can use his first effect to just stall and that. So all around he's really good. I would only run 2 though max, because if you have 2 in your hand it's really bad, because yeah, it just is. Okay, we run 2 Krebons. I like 2-star tuners in this deck since you can make 8 so easily with the Monarchs. So Krebons is really nice. I think Krebons is the best here because his effect of he has a sort of stalling effect, which also helps with the whole deck and getting out your Monarchs. So his stall effect's really nice, and also obviously you can use him with E-Tally, which brings out an instant 8-star sync really quickly. And then we have 1 Psychic Commander. It's another target for E-Tally, and honestly, I think he's really good. He's I think he's almost as good as Gale, because while Gale's good on your turn, getting over your opponent's monsters, which you don't actually need in this deck because you have the Monarchs for that. Psychic Command is really good on your opponent's turn because he has essentially 1900 attack, so he's hard to get over. Your opponent won't see him as a threat, so they won't really want to spend resources getting over him, so he can stay in the field for quite a long time. He's really good. And 1 Spirit Reaper for stalling and I don't know, lots of stuff. Spirit Reaper is really nice. He also acts as my Thestalos, because I don't really like Thestalos, since Thestalos is more for combo-based decks. He's better to put in your side deck, so yeah. Spells, we have triple Dimensional Fissure. Yeah, you need triple. It's your main engine of the deck. 2 Gold Sarcs, searches for any parts of the engine that you need. That's pretty much all you're going to be searching for. If you have enough parts of the engine, like if you have 2 Doom Fissures and 2 Survivors, then you can probably just look for your Return from the Different Dimension, which is pretty much your OTK card, which it's just so good. We have 2 enemy controllers. These pretty much replace Book in this deck because of their second effect. Because you tribute, when you tribute the monster, you're always going to be tributing your Survivor or Scout plane, so it's never going to be a loss to you, because Survivor or Scout plane is just going to come back at the end of the turn anyway. So that's really good, and it's also good to use on just on your turn. You know, tribute your Survivor or Scout plane, get their monster, attack with their monster, then tribute it for a Monarch, do some damage, and your Survivor or Scout plane comes back. So Econ's really nice, and E-Tally is pretty much your 3rd Book of Moon for the same reasons, and also really strong in getting out 8-star synchros really fast. So yeah, I think E-Tally is really nice as well. And E-Tally is always going to hit a target when you're running 3 Psychics, but you can get by just running 2 Psychics, I think. 1 Allure of Darkness, almost every card. Actually, no, not every card. Well, a bit more than half of your monsters are dark, so you might as well run this, and because you really need draw power, so yeah, might as well. And also, if you can remove a Scout plane from play, it's a +1 because your Scout plane will just come back, so it's really nice, Allure. And 1 RoTa, which acts as your 4th Survivor, so you just get out your DD Survivor with him. really nicely. I don't run Dark Hole because it'll destroy your Scout Plane or Survivor on your turn, which is not what you want. You need to tribute for a Monarch on your turn, which you can't do if you Dark Hole. So for me, I don't really like Dark Hole here. We have triple Macrocosmos. Same thing as Dimensional Fissure, just a trap. I know he can summon Helios, the Primordial Sun, but the thing is, if you draw Helios, he's really bad. Like, usually the highest attack you can get to would be like 1500, and you have enough Tribute Fodder already. You don't need to just, you don't need to run a Helios, get out with this, and run the risk of drawing a Helios as well. So, yeah, just 3 Macrocosmos by themselves. 3 Dark Bribes. These aren't, 3 Dark Bribes isn't overdoing it for me, because it protects your engine. You don't need to protect your Survivor or Scout Plane, because they're always going to come back as long as you have your engine. So all you need to, your Fissure engine, all you need to do is protect your Fissure engine, and then you're sweet. So I think Dark Bribe's cost of like your opponent drawing a card is okay if they MST it. You know, they're not going to draw another MST with the card that they draw. So I think it's really good. Also works against like pulling the rugs and that on your Monarchs, which make their effects not go off. If you really need to, you can use it on like pulling the rugs and that. But yeah, it's usually to stop back row hate on this. 2 Bottomless. You can use this or Trap Hole. Really, doesn't really matter. I just like Bottomless, so I have him in here. But Solemn Warning is a lot better. As a much better card in here. 1 Solemn Judgment, same reasons as Bribe. Really good. 1 Torrential Tribute, incredible in this deck, very, very good card, because your monsters come back anyway. And 1 Return for the Different Dimension, your big OTK trump card that just, yeah, literally just OTKs, so strong. Yeah, so I'll just quickly show you the extra deck. We have 1 Armory Arm, get him out with Krebons and Scout Plane, he's not too bad. 1 Catasta, 1 Android. Use it. You can get out these with Psychic Commander and what's called and Scout Plane. They're pretty good. I feel you need to run 2 Android against decks that aren't dark, and against decks that are dark, and Catasta against decks that aren't dark. So you have a nice equality there. 1 Bryanak, 1 Goyo. You'll make these with Krebons and Survivor. Goyo's effect doesn't work, but his attack's still really huge, so it's good to run in. 7 stars, we have Black Rose and Scrap Archfiend for his attack. You get these out with Psychic Commander and Survivor. And ton of 8 stars, because you'll be doing a lot of 8-star sinking. 1 Scrap Dragon, which is the best in this deck. 1 Dark Hand, you can only make him with Caius, but doesn't matter, he's still really strong. My mate has my Thought Ruler, but yeah, one Thought Ruler, which is also really nice in this deck. 1 Red Dragon Archfiend. Yeah, just good, big attack. 1 Stardust, for those cases where you don't have your Fissure engine running, you can just make him, and then you can hold out before you play your Fissure engine until he dies. When he dies, then you just play your Fissure engine and screw them over some more. And 1 Colossal Fighter for the same reason if your Fissure engine's not running. 1 Mistworm, yeah, my mate's borrowing that as well, but yeah, you can make him with like Psychic Commander, Survivor, and Scout Plane, which isn't actually too hard to do, so it'd be good to run Mistworm. And 1 Chimera Tech. So that's the extra deck, and yeah, hope you enjoyed. Your side deck choices, you get just some choices. You could have like 2 Thestalos sided, and another Raiza sided, I guess. Another good idea for this deck is Vortex Trooper, because he runs through your cards really nicely. And yeah, that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed the deck. I hope it was fairly original. And yeah, I really feel it's a really nice anti-meta, budget, original, and quite powerful, interestingly powerful. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the deck, guys. See you later.